Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. So today I'm going to talk about a makeup review, and this is the NYX Professional Makeup Hydra Touch Primer. And I will show you what it looks like, because when I'm looking online it's supposed to be really blue, but it doesn't look blue to me. There's a very, like, in person it's white to me in person, but in the camera, yeah, it's still white. It has like that milky kind of look to it, and it's very watery and it's very slick. And here it is. So that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna give you information that I gathered online, and then I'm gonna give you my experience and my review on that. So this is 1.05 fluid ounces, or ounces, because it is not entirely fluid. It is kind of in between liquid and solid, because it's a little runny. But as you have seen, it wasn't completely runny, that it is kind of watery, so I take that back. It is just ounces. So details: enhance your complexion from the inside out with NYX Professional Makeup's Hydra Touch Primer. This formula creates a smooth, glowing canvas for flawless, long-lasting coverage. Enhanced with skin-loving ingredients like chamomile, green tea, ginseng root extract, your skin will feel soft, smooth, and refreshed. Okay, I was really excited because I really love the NYX Angel Veil primer. So I'm thinking I need a hydrating primer, and so I wanted to give this a shot. So this doesn't really go well with my skin. When it comes to it being hydrating, yes, that is very true. I used a dewy foundation on top of it, and it just was moving around a lot. It was very difficult to apply. I was using a brush and then a sponge, and both times it was really difficult to apply. The sponge was a lot easier because you know how you just tap it, but sometimes with the sponge you even still kind of glide it everywhere, and so it was really kind of hard to do that. Using this with a mattifying foundation is amazing. So my skin never really stretched out. My skin was completely hydrated all day. I used this the longest, probably I would say about 14 hours. And nothing was breaking apart. Everything was together. Again, every time I do use every time I do put makeup on, I do use a primer and a setting spray after. So that could have also helped, but in reality, if you're not using a primer and you're not using setting spray, or you're not setting your makeup, realistically, it's not going to last all day. A lot of people, there's a lot of claims about foundation that will last 24 hours. I've tried and tested all that. That doesn't really work without primer and a setting spray. Anyway, so going back to this. So it's very hydrating. So far, I have only dabbled in a few hydrating primers, and this is definitely the most hydrating, I think. Not just hydrating, but very slick and wet. So if you have extremely dry skin, this might really work for you. And if you have dry skin, and if you want to use a mattifying foundation, this is definitely the way to go, because I use this with a dewy foundation and a mattifying foundation, and with the mattifying foundation, this works really well. The foundation was really easy to apply. It wasn't moving around. There were no issues. I didn't have a problem doing any of that at all. So if you want to use this, if you have oily skin and you want to use this, I will not really recommend that. I think you're going to be like extremely upset and disappointed, because it will not only make your makeup slick, it will actually probably it might be very, very hard, extremely hard for you to put on your makeup. It will probably just keep moving around. If you have dry skin though, I do recommend this a lot, especially if you do want to use mattifying foundations. If you want to use like dewy foundations with this, or one of those really watery foundations, because it's supposed to have like natural finish or dewy finish or illuminating finish, and it's not mattifying at all, anything opposite of mattifying, and you're going to use this, plus you have dry or even oily skin, this is definitely not going to work. It will be so frustrating. I was so upset. I think on the first day I was using it, and I was still using like a dewy or like a non-mattifying foundation. I was close to tears. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This is not working. Did I get a dud kind of foundation? And I thought about it. I'm like, I have been using this foundation for a while now, testing it out with other products. And because it was just a lapse in memory, I'm like, what's going on? Was there something wrong? I was blaming it all on me, and then I'm thinking, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna use a mattifying foundation instead of the constant non-mattifying foundations I was using this with, and it just didn't work. And it works beautifully. Here's the bad part. I can't use this because this irritates my skin. After using this, the first day, I had bumps all over my cheeks. I honestly didn't know what that was about. And so my cheeks were burning. It was red and irritated, and it had bumps everywhere. It wasn't like breakout, but there were bumps everywhere. And I put on some Sarna and some like, what is that, for irritated skin, at night before my skincare products, and even after, and then in the morning too. So I put it twice a day. And I was still testing this. I still tested it a few more days, and it just got worse and worse. So obviously it was this. I knew because when I test a product, I only really change one item, because if you test products and they're all new at the same time, your skin gets irritated. You don't really know which item that really irritated your skin. So what I do is I already have all my tested products that I already know how they perform, and then I usually just change one of the things, like maybe a lipstick or a blush, or a lipstick is as is, so I forget that. More like a primer or a foundation or a setting spray or a primer spray, one of those things, or a powder, anything all for my face. That's usually a lot of times that I switch up a lot, just to see which one would be great on my skin or not really great on my skin. And especially now I have dry skin, and I also have sensitive skin. I have normal to dry skin and sensitive skin. So just so you know, if you have sensitive skin, maybe you might wanna, if you want to, go ahead and try it, because not everybody who has sensitive skin will have the same effect. Make sure you get this from a store that will not really be an issue when you do return it, when it doesn't go with your skin, when it irritates your skin. I don't really recommend Target. Target is very difficult to return stuff. I mean, me and my husband have been there, and and these are like Target brands. I know it's a lot of, I'm all over the place here, but anyway, we were really frustrated about that. We were returning diapers, and it was their brand. It was Up and Up. And it was just, it wasn't the product that was wrong. We just needed to return that and get a different, a different size of diaper. And the lady in customer service was really, really horrible, and was saying, if you don't have a receipt, we can't take it. And my husband was like, this is your brand, so if we got this somewhere else, it's going to be more expensive. I just want to trade it for a different size. It's the same price. And he was in there for half an hour just debating with the lady, and he said, he even asked her, are you new? Is this your first day or week or something? And she said, no, I'm the manager, and I know what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. And if she knew what she was doing, then I don't know why you're arguing, with your customer that knows more than you. It's it's really embarrassing for your company. But anyway, I would suggest other companies that would take it back just in case it does irritate your skin. If it doesn't irritate your skin, I actually really enjoyed using this with mattifying foundations, because it was just, I have a lot of mattifying foundations because I used to have oily skin, and you know, I don't want to throw them out, you know, so I use this and I'm like, oh my God, I love it again, you know, all these things, I love it, blah, blah, blah. And then my skin is like completely red, and it felt like it was burning and stinging, and it was really, really painful. And yes, you might be wondering, you're being really stupid, Natasha. Why do you keep on using the same product when you just said you're irritated? Because I was trying to test it. And first off, I initially thought it might not have been this. I wasn't entirely sure. So I did a lot of different things. I added a higher SPF sunscreen, even though I don't leave the house, just to see if that might be the problem. So I use 110 instead of 30, and it was and I actually stayed away from windows, and it actually was this. And you know, I still used the things that would take the redness and the irritation out. I switched a different primer, you know, and all that, and I still put the medicine on my, or not medicine really, well, kinda, but you know, you know, like anti-irritating kind of lotions. And so I put that on my face, and it just, you know, it disappeared the next day. So next day or two, depending on how bad it was. So just be aware, if you are if you're new to using this, it's your first time, and everything else you've already tried and tested and they're perfect, they work perfectly for your skin, you have dry skin and you want to go back to the mattifying foundations that you had, and then you have the bad reaction, just so you know, it's not anything else, it's not something you're doing wrong, it is the primer. So just be aware of that. If you have dry skin or normal to dry skin or just normal skin, and you want a lot more hydration, and you want to use this beautiful mattifying primer that you've heard about, and you want that kind of look, if you are not getting any kind of irritation or redness or bumps, then lucky you, because this is such a great primer. Even though my skin was completely irritated, my skin was just you know, bumps everywhere. It was gross. I had so much texture. I never really have that much texture all the time. It's sometimes like you use like a bad foundation, and when you know, because you're curious and you want to try out something new, might be better. And sometimes certain foundations will make it seem like you have texture in your skin, even though you don't. I don't know how they do that, but they do. So that's not a very good foundation. So this really did that. I took the makeup off, you know, after my shower, and I took a shower, and then I came out, and then like my face was completely red, and it was just completely like bumps everywhere. It was gross. So just be aware, if that does happen, then you're like me, and it's unfortunate that you can't use this, because I love this. I love this primer. So amazing. But you know, I'm still on my drugstore makeup journey, in which I want to try and test as many as I can and see what I can really replicate and replace all of the luxury or department store makeup items that I have loved in my life. So this I still do recommend. Just be aware, again, if it does, you know, irritate your skin, it burns your skin, even the first day, stop using it and just return it. So if you don't have that, lucky you, again. So I do give this a 2 thumbs up, and because it is not good for all skin types, and it's not good for, it's not really good for sensitive skin. Actually, I take that back about the all skin types, because it's a Hydra Touch Primer. It says hydration, you know what I mean? So if you have oily skin, you don't really need this. So if you're going to use this and you don't like it, then, you know, you can't blame the product, because the product is not for oily skin. I give this a 4 just because it's not good for sensitive skin. Everything else, this works beautifully. Just beautiful. Also, it never really made my skin glow that I noticed. Not at all. So with that, and that's where I know I'm only taking 1 star out of, out of a perfect rating, which would be a 5. And that is because this is such an amazing primer, and I can't even talk about it enough. It's such an amazing primer. The problem is it's not going to be good for everybody's skin, sensitive skin, because you're going to get irritated. And it doesn't have the quote-unquote glowing skin, or supposedly you're going to have a glowing look. It's not going to get that. Everything else, it performs beautifully. The makeup gets on your skin beautifully. Everything is just perfectly beautiful. Okay, so that's why I give it a 4 out of 5. So if you guys have other suggestions that I might try in regards to primers or hydrating primers, please let me know down below, because I would like to try them. If you guys have any questions, or you want to chit chat with me with in regards to anything, let me know down below as well. I love hearing from you guys all the time. Thank you guys, and I'll see you again next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please hit the like button, subscribe button, and the bell so you'll be notified whenever I do upload a new video. Don't forget to expand the description box, because as much as possible, I always try to get coupons for you guys, discount codes, and other goodies like that. I also have my Twitter information, Instagram, Snapchat, and for business inquiries, I have my email there as well. Thank you guys, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.